Hey, welcome back for day 3 of the Facebook Fundraiser Challenge. I'm Sandy Reese, your host, and my goal is to teach you this week how to put the pieces together of a very successful fundraising campaign that you can easily run on Facebook. And you know why? Because that's where probably all your donors are hanging out and great prospects, and Facebook has some great tools that make fundraising easy, so why not? I want to show you some really cool things that actually not only work on Facebook, but work across all of fundraising. So just a quick recap. Back in day 1, we talked about choosing an ideal ask so that you have something that people understand and want to give to. Yesterday, we talked about the 1,000-word or $1,000 image and why it's important to pick the right image that magnifies your story, conveys emotion, and really connects with people as they're scrolling through their Facebook feed. Today, I want to talk about the heart-tugging paragraph. You see, words really matter in fundraising. What you say and how you frame it can make all the difference in whether somebody clicks that donate button or not. So let's dive right in. As you're thinking about your ask and you're working on your heart-tugging paragraph, it's going to be really easy for you to go right into what you normally do, which is, well, we need money because blah, 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 blah. Let's shift your thinking just a little bit on this heart-tugging paragraph. What I want you to do is stick to the why, not the how. It's really easy in nonprofit to want to focus on the programs that you offer, the services you provide, your service area, the fact you're a 501c3 and all that. That's the how. Remember that your nonprofit exists to make a difference, to make a change, to make the world a better place. And so what I want you to think about as you start to write your paragraph is, why is this important? So not any of the program or process of the fundraiser, but why is this important? In fact, how will this fundraiser change lives? One of the things you have to remember about donors is they're people, and they have some secret desires about how they want to make a difference in the world. And if you were to ask donors, most of them will not talk about their philanthropic desires, but they all have them. We all want to feel like a hero from time to time. We all love that feeling we get when we know we've helped somebody out when they really need it. And so when you give people the opportunity to help you change a life, that's exciting to a donor. That's something they want to be part of. So as you're writing your paragraph, think about how this fundraiser is going to change a life. And that might be, let's say that you're, well, actually, there's an example in the handouts of a horse rescue that needed a new fly mask for one of their blind horses. And so they talked about how the current mask just doesn't fit right, and it doesn't keep the sun off of his eyes. His eyes are very sensitive, so it's painful and got some other problems. And the new fly mask is going to prevent all of that. So they went right to, how is this fundraiser going to change lives? And so that's very easy for the reader to read that and understand immediately. And when coupled with that perfect, that 1,000-word or $1,000 image, like that's an easy yes for a lot of people. Which, by the way, they raised all the money they needed in like just a matter of a couple of hours. It was not a big deal at all. It was also not a lot of money, but it was a big deal for them. Okay, as you're writing, you got to keep this really focused on what your donor understands. So no jargon or acronyms. If you use any language that your reader doesn't understand, you will lose them. They are not going to work hard to try to figure out what you mean by HGB or KCH or what an at-risk blah, blah, blah is. So keep it very clean and conversational. Make it very easy to understand. If you write your paragraph and hand it to an 8-year-old child, they need to be able to read it and understand what you're talking about and what you're asking for. All right, so no jargon, no acronyms. And then the last thing that I want you to really think about, again, is impact, not existence. So you might remember the other day when we were talking about an ideal ask that you don't want to ask people like, oh, help us meet our $10,000 goal. That's really vague and it's very arbitrary. It doesn't mean anything to the donor. So what we want to do is focus on what is the impact that you're trying to have. And how can you put this fundraiser in context of the work that your organization does? And in fact, if it's easier for you to just think about the ideal ask that you're working on, What is the impact of this fundraiser? So in the case of Barney the horse, the impact is we're going to provide some comfort to this horse. We're going to protect his eyes from flies and dirt and the sun and all kinds of other things. And it allows that organization to take better care of that animal that they're responsible for. So think about the impact of the fundraiser, not, oh, we need money. Listen, fundraising is never about you needing money. All right, so I want you to take a stab at this. Write your heart-tugging paragraph. I know for some of you this is not going to be easy. And what I want you to know is you can come here on this page and ask questions, or you can go over to the Fundraising for Founders Facebook group. I'm in there and I'm happy to answer questions. If you want to write something and ask for some feedback, I'm sure there will be folks who will be happy to help you out with that. But remember to stick to the why. Why are you doing this fundraiser? How is it going to change lives? No jargon or acronyms, and stick to the impact that this fundraiser is going to have, because that is what gets donors really interested. There's some examples in the handouts. If you haven't taken a close look at those yet, go ahead and do that. So take a stab at this, see where you get to, and then come back tomorrow because we're going to start putting this all together and talk about scheduling. I'll see you then.